Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Dr. Voodoo Folks, Tales of the Cemetery. Well, I thought I'd introduce you all to somebody. I guess you could say he's a local celebrity. Out over here on my cemetery, we have a little chapel that sits up on top of the hill. And at one point in time, I guess you could say it's where miracles would happen. So, Father Jebediah, you feel like telling these people your wicked tale? I know you're used to preaching, so I know you're always love to talk.
I love nothing more, Mr. Voodoo Folk, than to tell the people the tale of Father Jebediah.
I never was much for the ministry. My father was a preacher. My mother always wanted me to be one. But what could I say? Even whenever I was up there and I was trying my holy best to pull in the Spirit of God Himself into the room, I never could. For I always felt hollow inside. Fourth, I was speaking upon deaf ears. It seemed like down here in this little town, people just came to congregate in this little chapel just out of habit more than faith in God itself. For these lands, they have no hope left. I always wanted to bring God into my life and the lives of everybody else, but nobody ever listened. It seemed like I could never change the book to the right page. And then one night, I was getting ready to close up, and it was a long day, and I wanted nothing more to do than go home, drink a glass of scotch, and move on to the next day. When a man came walking in I had never seen and got into the confessional booth, I knew I couldn't leave until I took care of him, so I walked into the confessional booth next to him. And he said,
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
"That is fine, my son. Please, tell me, what have you done?"
So the other night, I picked my second victim this week.
As his
And
words
it was so much
started
easier than the
spilling
first.
over into me,
Oh, I have to tell you all
Anger.
about it.
built up inside of me. For I felt the rage of God and all the evil build up. Then I snapped. I ran into the confessional booth next, and I grabbed him out by his shirt, and I drug him over to my altar where I had the vat of holy water, and I drowned him in it. I gave him his last baptism before there should be no evil that marks this world like this man. I held his head in the water as I recited the Lord's Prayer until God took his last gasp of air. I felt righteous. I felt good. I felt like I had done something justified. I quickly was hit with panic, and I drug his body out into the cemetery and looked for a hole that our very own Dr. Voodoo folk had dug that very day. And I rolled his body into it, and I took some dirt and covered him up in the bottom of the hole. I knew the service was tomorrow because I was going to be the one looking over it. The next day came. A good, God-fearing Christian was placed into that hole above that sinner, and I felt at peace. Later on that day, a man came in. He was very ill, and he wanted me to bless him. As I went to bless him, he urgently asked for me to use the holy water. So I did. 2 days later, he was cured. He came into the chapel and he was so excited, for he said that the doctors told him himself that it was a miracle, and that I truly had the touch of God. And I felt so empowered by that feeling, and that I helped this man, but I had to get rid of a sinner. Well, word spread far and wide in these Kentucky hills. Everybody had to come down here to Father Jebediah's chapel and be blessed by him. The congregation grew, the money came in, and I began to feel as if I was a guide myself. It was the most intoxicating feeling I've ever had. For some people didn't even want to hear the gospel. They just wanted to hear me, as if I was their savior. And I truly believed that I was. I had a great little system. Sinners would come in. I would judge them. I would baptize them. And Dr. Voodoo folk, without knowing, would bury them. It was a remarkable little system. As people came in, and the money was flowing, and the wine was being drunk, I became a celebrity in these here hills. Down here in this Kentucky swamp. About that time, I realized, as I would deal with the sinners, the weather would just get worse and worse. We wouldn't really have any more blue skies over this luscious blue grass, for it consistently started to turn gray. It seemed like it would never stop raining. To the point I wondered if it was the tears of all of the sinners' families, wondering where their people have gone. Now they have disappeared, they have vanished, and only I knew where they were. And then the day came. A man came into my confessional. He sat down and he said,
"Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned."
and then I said, "That is fine, my son. Please tell me, what have you done?"
Oh, little old me, I have so much blood on my hands. I don't even know where to
And
start.
as he started talking,
Do you want me to start at the
and I
beginning?
listened to the horrible tales he was telling me, I knew this man was going to make the most potent of holy water I have ever distributed amongst my congregation. I felt excited. I felt almost anxious for him to finish his last words so I could give him his very last baptism. And as I ran out of my confessional booth, there they stood. 3 police officers with their guns drawn,
Hands above your head.
and more coming their way.
Keep that finger on the fucking ground. Don't try
They
anything.
caught me.
Don't try anything.
And as I sat in that jail cell, amongst all the actual sinners, I realized that I was the worst one there. Somebody asked me, "So, how many did you get?" I forgot. I had lost the number. For I became the worst judge of them all. I thought I was the righteous one. But then I just realized that I was just as bad, if not worse, as the people that I had been sacrificing at my altar. And then the day I met him, it was 2 days before my trial. I was sitting in the courthouse waiting to meet my lawyer. And a man walked in. Black suit, slicked back hair, bright green eyes. He looked unreal, unhuman. He then pulled out a chair in front of me and smiled and said, "It's a pleasure meeting you, Father Jebediah." I scoffed and said, "There's no pleasure in meeting this old man anymore." He said, "Oh, yes, there is. Let me introduce myself to you. My name is Damien Lucifer Angel." As the hair stood up on the back of my neck, I said, "That is a very interesting name for a man who is going to be standing up for a priest." And he said, "Oh, no. I'm not going to stand up for you. God sent me up here to punish you. See, I made a bet with him for your soul that if we gave you one simple miracle, you would become greedy. You wouldn't be able to stop." And he told me that I was wrong, that he had faith in me. Well, what can I say other than I'm here to collect my winnings? I begged him. I said I didn't care how long I had to sit in prison, but for me not to go to the eternal damnation that I've been preaching against my whole life. And he said, "I know, but here's the thing. God is not willing to forgive you, and neither do I want you. So, I guess you better get to praying." Blood ran cold inside my veins. That day, they strapped me down to that wooden chair and put that little hat on my head. They didn't even bring a priest in there for me to say my final prayers.
Forgive me, God.
I had to do them myself.
I do not know what to say for forgiveness.
But at least they were kind enough to
Please
bury me here in front of this very chapel and gave me a little plaque.
God's work.
Father Jebediah, the bloody miracle worker. Oh, Father Jebediah, you rotten son of a bitch. You know, it happens all the time, though. People think they're doing something good for a good cause. They end up being more rotten than the sons of bitches they're persecuting. His tale is old as time, as they say. Sometimes God's work can be casted in the devil's shadow. So you should watch out for what causes you all stand for. You never know. It might be the wrong one. Nah. Here he comes.
Doc, are you over here talking to that crazy asshole priest again?
Yeah. What can I say? I thought I needed to be saved or something.
Get saved on your own goddamn time. Grab that shovel and get the fuck back to work.
Yeah. Goddamn demon. Well, what else can I say other than thanks for tuning in? I'll catch you next time. If there is a next time.